why feminists continue to watch Supernatural. I don't understand this. I really don't. I don't understand why these people, put themselves through this, where they just continue to watch something that offends them so greatly on such deep of a level. Like, I really don't. And you can see it in the fandom reactions of these last 3 episodes. Like, it's all in different flavors. But for one, first episode of this season, when Jenna came on, like, all of these people were so worried that her and Dean were gonna get together, which was ridiculous to me, because there was nothing in the acting between Jensen and, the woman who played Jenna to suggest that they had romantic feelings for one another. It wasn't in the directing. The shots weren't set up to suggest romance. There were no music cues. There was nothing in the writing to suggest romance. And this is even odd to me because, like, feminists talk so much about media representation and how important it is, and women not just being reduced to being, the love interest or the chick for some other guy's story. But it seems to me like they were almost doing that themselves. Like, the show wasn't doing that. They were doing that to the show and to the character of Jenna. And so yeah, but like, why they even watch Supernatural? Because, Supernatural doesn't have representation of female characters, never has, never will be. And if the issue of representation is so important to them, they should stop watching Supernatural. Because, I mean, it's not like Supernatural is making you watch it. It's not like you're obligated to watch Supernatural. Like, every other show I've watched, have ever watched, has had, as many female characters in the cast as male characters, or at least 2, 3, 4 female characters who are really important to the story and, on for multiple seasons, multiple episodes, have a character arc of their own that isn't just attached to other male characters or even other female characters. And, there's so much on TV today also in terms of representation of queer people and, minorities. I know that there's still a way to go to maybe get towards even to reflect the numbers of, the demographics of America. But, it's not like this is hard to find now anymore. My mom was just watching The Bastard Executioner tonight. One of the characters is a Moor, is a black guy, because I think that they want to show that, hey, black people existed, that there were Moors, and Stephen Moyer's character is bisexual. So it's like right there, a representation of a black character in that time and place in Wales in the Middle Ages, and a bisexual character also in that time. I mean, Stephen Moyer is evil, but I mean, I still would hope that he counts as representation of that. So yeah, there's that. And also, worrying about the darkness, which again had more going back to first episode of Supernatural fan reaction, where the darkness, her and Dean may very well have a sexual relationship, but he's not going to end up with her. He's a hero, so heroes don't end up with villains unless they're reformed. And how do you reform the darkness? That'd be like reforming the first evil. That'd be even harder to do than reforming Lucifer, even, which would be interesting if Supernatural did that, if Lucifer is coming back. Please say he's coming back. And so yeah, like, looking for female characters that are more than love interests, which the darkness is. You know, she's going to be the main antagonist, at least of this season. I wouldn't be surprised if she was the main antagonist to whenever, you know, the show ends. Like, she'll probably still be. So there you go, representation of female character in a story, and, you know, then trying to just reduce her to being a villain. So, you know, whatever, or being a love interest. So yeah, like, offends you, feminists, on that level, stop watching Supernatural. And then, you know, second episode where Jenna dies, of course, you know, offended. Oh my god, it was so horrible that they killed her off because, you know, I guess she was queer because there was like an innocuous comment that seemed kind of like, I'm not sure if that's what she really meant, but if you think she's queer, okay. And then Hannah died too, which, I mean, I guess since she's an angel, she doesn't fall into binaries, so other people saw her as queer representation. So then, you know, people are like, oh my god, it's so awful and horrible that these characters died, even though reoccurring characters in Supernatural die all the fucking time. Like, it's just so much worse when female characters die. And again, if you truly believe that, stop watching Supernatural. Like, Supernatural has always been, always will be, about the experience of two men who are white and cisgendered, and at least one of them is straight, and textually the other one is straight, but I don't know. I think Dina's bi. But whatever. It's always been about the experiences of them. So move the fuck on to something else. And again, with this last episode, you know, Cass finds Dean's porn, which was, I mean, I thought it was a little funny, and Fortune Nookie is kind of a clever title. But, like, the busty Asian beauty jokes at this point are pretty well played out. It was dumb from a character perspective for Cass to be like, I still don't know how computers work. I mean, maybe you could have gotten away with that shit when you didn't just have him instantly know how to drive a car and have him have found Claire last season with a computer. Like, that's how he found her. Like, how am I supposed to believe that he can do that, but he can't use Dean's laptop properly? It doesn't make any fucking sense. So on a character level, it was dumb, but look who wrote the episode. Yeah. But I didn't find that offensive. You know, I don't have a problem with porn. I don't even have a problem with race fetishization porn. Just because you fetishize a race doesn't make you racist. I mean, sexual fantasies are just that, fantasies. A person is totally capable to have, you know, a fantasy and know that that doesn't transcend into real life. I mean, a lot of people have rape fantasies, but that doesn't mean that they actually want to, for real, rape a person or be then raped by somebody. You know, that's not what that means. So right, not offended. Thought it was kind of dumb. But what was even dumber was Dean trying to get the attention of just that random lady. I didn't think it was street harassment because I think feminists need to, like, learn the difference between, you know, actual harassment and just, like, so, you know, social situations that are annoying and awkward. So Dean trying to get attention of her and she being like, what the fuck ever, you know, get away from me. I don't care about you. Like, again, that I think is on the line of, like, social situation that's awkward and annoying versus actual harassment. But still, like, it broke the tension in the climax. Or jarred with it at the very least. It didn't make sense for Dean's character because, like, at this point, do you think that Dean is going to take a break from somebody he knows is in distress, especially his best friend, to just, like, attempt to flirt with some random girl? And also, Dean is in his fucking late 30s. Like, this is, like, doing that might have been, like, cute, kind of, in, you know, first season, maybe, but now, at his age, it's pathetic. Like, it's not, it just, like it just doesn't need to be there. It was stupid, and just, you know, ugh, I don't like that. But again, it doesn't offend me. I mean, I look at the people who wrote it, who, you know, are Brad Buckner and Eugene Ross Lemming. You know, they suck a little bit. I mean, how much they suck episode to episode is, you know, on a curve, but like, their bad instincts for either pacing or characterization or humor, like, is always there. Like, no matter how good an episode they wrote is, there is still a mark of their badness in there somewhere. And, you know, I can accept that as being a bad part of Supernatural and moving on. But, like, these feminists, like, you know, to their very core, like, this is against their principles. Like, if something offends you that deeply, like, how can you still watch it? Like, with me, when I found about, you know, when Hellblazer was made into a show, is Constantine still even on? But whatever, when I found out, like, that there was, that they weren't going to keep Constantine bisexual, I'm like, you know what, that's bullshit. I'm not gonna watch that show. I think that that's crap. That offends me. I don't want to be a part of that show. So, again, like, why? Like, why do these people have a different reaction to media that upsets them than I do? And I mean, I know, like, I've kind of talked to some feminists about this, and they've been like, well, you can, you know, be aware of the problems of something and still enjoy it. And I'm like, well, why? Why? Like, why do the work? Why do the work to try to justify to yourself or somebody else why you should continue to watch something? Like, if someone else tries to give you bullshit for it, you're like, oh, well, you're offended, so what? I don't care. Like, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right, and doesn't make that offense really meaningful at all. Like, anybody can be offended by anything. It doesn't really give that offense meaning at all. So yeah, like, why even care about being offended if you know you can avoid it, or if you know you can avoid it. Like, if Supernatural offends you, but you know, you're at war with yourself, like, why not just, you know, remove Supernatural from you, so you don't have to do this mental gymnastic bullshit to justify to yourself why you can still keep watching it. So, yeah, I don't understand most people. Most people, I don't get them, clearly. Sorry for this weird ramble, especially at the end. I'm not sure I was making a ton of sense towards the end. Okay, I think that that's all I need to say about this. Yeah. Oh, I guess, and really moving on from Supernatural, if it offends you, I think would be the best for all involved, you know? Like, it would be better for you, person who's offended at the show, because then you wouldn't be constantly subjugating yourself to something that makes you upset. So that would be better for your mental state. It would also be better for the fandom in general, because you're not bringing your negativity into that place for people who just, you know, want to have fun. Like, I think fandom at its core is really supposed to be fun. Like, if you're not having fun with it anymore, it's also time to leave that fandom. Like, if other people are just making it a pain for you to keep being there, like, you should get out. And people don't want that. They want to keep talking about the stuff that they like. So yeah, that's my take on that. I don't get why feminists keep watching Supernatural. Sayonara, auf Wiedersehen.